If Jesus is our shepherd, that makes us his sheep. Grace and peace, everybody. This is it. This is this last part in this 5-part series as we look at Jesus through the lens of the psalmist in the book of Psalms and the Holy Bible. Jesus is our divine shepherd. And that picture has so many soothing and calming and healing aspects to it. But it also has some substantive, authoritative anchoring that we can use to understand our position in relationship to God. Before we dig into that, again, want to thank you for watching. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Please pass this video on to somebody else and click that like button. However you're watching this, it makes it easier for other people to find what we're about to find out right now. If Jesus is our shepherd, that makes us his sheep. So we see him as leading, but do we really see ourselves? We see the necessity, but not just the necessity, the opportunity to follow. See, when I'm following, like here in Psalm 78, verse 52, it says, but made his own people to go forth like sheep and guided them in the wilderness like a flock. And he led them on safely so that they feared not, but the sea overwhelmed their enemies. See, it's God's intent that the sea of life would overwhelm our enemies, not that we're left to drown in our own issues. But the cost of that and the reality of this salvation is that we must be led. We have to be willing to be guided. And when we think about people who have issues with God, more often than not, the issues that we have with God are because and when he acts like God. We've got to be mindful that we are the sheep. And if Christ is the shepherd, we have been ordained to follow. All of us, we've been anointed to follow. But in that anointing of following, we don't lose anything. We lose problems. We lose enemies. We lose issues. That's what we're actually losing when we allow him to be the shepherd, in the same way Israel allowed him to be their shepherd. Well, when they did allow him to be their shepherd. Now in Psalm 79, verse 13, it says, so we thy people and sheep of thy pasture will give thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. We've already talked about the unending life of our high priest Christ, the endless life, therefore the endless ministry, the endless lordship of Christ. And that's where we come in. We have an opportunity at eternity because he is our eternity. But notice what it says here. Thy people will give thee praise, and this praise will be as long as he's solving these problems, as long as he's being high priest, as long as he is in ministry for us. He is worthy of praise, and he is worthy of our obedience. Wait, I thought we were talking about praise. Well, in reality, the highest form of praise is obedience. The greatest thing that we can do to show God that we acknowledge him and that we accept him and we adore him is that we obey him. So now, knowing that this is the highest form of praise, it makes sense that when you go to Psalm 100 verse 3, know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. I love Psalm 100 because this was the first Bible verse that I learned by heart. My first grade teacher, Miss Johnson, God bless her, she had us learn this whole psalm. And there's so much gospel, there's so much love in this one division of the psalm. And one of the verses where it says, we are his people, the sheep of his pasture. That's what separates him from other rulers and leaders in this world who look at people simply as an opportunity for power. God says, in God's mind, the God of love is that I have power with or without you. So God is not looking to be our leader for power's sake. He's looking to be our leader for promise's sake. He's not thinking of being ruler because he's ruler whether or not we're in the picture. He was ruler before us and he will be ruler after us if that's the case. I'm not looking to be ruler. I got that. What God is looking for is relationship. And my relationship is best manifested. It's best experienced. It's It's best absorbed when you are a sheep, when you are as a lamb in my arms, and you let me carry you where I think you should go. You let me lead you, because in my leading, the L-E-A-D, it's a perfect reflection of my L-O-V-E. God's leadership is always for our best interests, even when it is beyond our best understanding.